Lab number 37. In this lab, we will continue development of our technical maintenance assistant application, and right now we will focus on design. We will try to use concept of material design from Google, and first of all, let's open the browser and navigate to a site called csscript.com. So this site's actually the collection of free CSS and JavaScript code snippets, and we will look for material design here. So let's just look from the search. Basically, we are looking in the project called Google Material Design Animated Radio Button Demo. We won't use anything related to button, but we will be using the styles from there in order to organize our card. So this is how it looks like. You can check the demo. This is our card together with animation, and we will use that. So we need to download this project, and if you cannot find it for some reason, you can look on it and use it from your host machine in lab37 files folder, but we will just download this project from here and unzip it just inside our downloads folder. So basically, from this project we will need to use the styles for animation and for card representation actually. And we will copy everything that is related to animation, basically this part. We'll paste it inside our CSS file, style CSS. So just like this. And we will also copy the part that is responsible for our card look and feel. Just like this. So let's preview the changes. We should now see a bit different app. So yeah, as you can see, our app looks a bit different right now. We have our cards here, but they're looking a bit strange. So reason for that is actually because first of all, we are specifying maximum width and we are specifying the padding here. So let's remove those parts. Let's remove padding, and the width will be something like 80%, which should be enough for us. Yep, so just like this. Now it's looking better. Now we need to specify item height for collection repeats, and actually we can do that inside our HTML code. So we'll go to main, and right here when we are organizing collection repeat, we need to also specify collection item height, and we will do it this way. We will just specify here collection item height, and let it be equal to 125 pixels, for example. So yeah, just like this. Let's check the styles here. So I will disable device simulation so it will be easier to see changes. Yep. Okay. Row. Let's disable row padding here. Instead of 5 pixels, let's use 0. So let's do it inside our CSS. Something like this. So row padding 0, and let's make it important to override everything just like this. Yep, and Also, let's remove wrapping here. So if the name is too large, let it be cutted by default. Again, let's go back to our main page, and this should be something like this. Yeah, we should just remove this item text wrap. And now we are seeing actually normal cards. So let's check what inside. Yep, animation is working, cards are working. So now we can actually do something with those numbers. Let's create some kind of circle around them. Let's create new class, something like number circle. And basically we will need several things. So we will need to limit border radius to 50%. We will need to specify some kind of border. I think 2 pixels solid will be enough. And basically this should already do the trick. Let's check how it will look by adding this class to our main page. So just here, number circle. Okay, it's not working. Let's assign it in some other div rather than working with columns. So let's create one more div here with this class. Yep, it's anyway not working. Let's check one more time our styles. So number, oh yeah, we forgot to include dot with comma here. So right now it's working. It's working a bit strange, so we need to specify some kind of width and heights for that. Let's use our styling for that. So let it be something like this 35 pixels, and height will be also 35 pixels. A bit small, let it be a bit bigger, like 36. Something like that. Then we need to add some kind of padding here. So let's use some kind of padding, pretty small, let's say 5 pixels. No, it should be more. Or we could do it a bit differently. Actually, we can start with text align to center. This is the first thing, and then we can actually move a bit down this circle with margin. So let's use something like I don't know, 15 pixels, and a bit too much, 15 and 0, something like this. So now it looks okay actually, but I think the numbers should be bigger. So let's use a bit different font, like 23 pixels, for example. Yeah, it should be important, of course. And we should provide font name like Arial, sans serif, for example, if it's not available. Yep, something like this. Now it looks too big, so let's do smaller padding, like 3 will be enough. And actually margin is too much, like 13 should be enough. Yeah, just like that. Let's see what will happen if our browser will get bigger. Actually, it's not looking very great, but let's do it step by step. So let's first of all copy this code and just pass it inside our CSS, and just like this. So now we can refresh our page and work with this alignment of our numbers. Yep, so I believe we should change margin to 13 and auto, and this will do a trick. Yep, so this is working now. Okay, so we should do the same in our CSS, just like that. Next step will be to do something with this search field. So basically what we have here, some kind of wrapper as a top level, and basically this wrapper represents everything that is inside our search field. So it has a background that we don't need actually. So this will be the first step to remove this background. Let's do that. So let's override this item inputs wrapper properties with background. Let's set it to transparent. So just like this, it should now work. Yep, let's add some kind of icon here. It will be good. So this should be done in main HTML. So here when we have a search, we need to add an icon. We can use an icon actually from login screen. I'm in the construction how to add an icon, just like this. So just before the input here, and the icon will be something like, it should be Ion search, it should be some icon like that. Yep, so now we see an icon. The color is a bit strange, so let it be positive. Yeah, then we will change this blue color to something else, and our numbers also will be positive. Just like this. And we need also change this beige color, so instead of assertive we can change it to positive also. So just like this. Basically the first step is done. Now let's go back to login page and change it. So on the login page right now everything looks bad. So first of all, let's work on this kind of button. Let's reuse the button from do not agree page. So as you remember, it was already in the middle, positioned in the middle. So we will use this one. And actually this tab item should be inside our login card, inside just near the label. So we'll delete everything here and paste it right here near the label. Yep, just like this. Of course, instead of back, we will need to use something else like sign in that we were using before, and we don't need this second one button. So this one will lead to a sign in function that we'll create later on. Something like this, and let's name this one as it was before. Yep, and instead of this chat box icon, let's look for something else. So let's go to Ionic icons project, and let's use this arrow, for example, that will actually look like sign in. Just like this. Yeah. Next step for us will be to work on our background, and let it be two-colored. So one side of our screen on the left will be with one color, and the second side on the right will be with another color. This is preferable because we have a pretty interesting icon that you can actually grab from your host system already. So let's do it. This icon or logo actually consists of those two colors. So let's just grab it and paste it inside our images. So instead of this dummy icon that we had before on the login page, let's use this new one called TM logo. Yep, we'll need to make it a bit smaller. I believe that the best option will be to use it inside a div as a background rather than include as image, and I also believe we don't need this header. Maybe we'll add it later, but right now it's not necessary. So let's create some kind of div here, and basically let's add a class, something like main logo. And then inside CSS we will need to specify what this class will look like. So main logo, we will have the background here. So background with a specific URL. So we are now inside CSS folder. We need to go back and then navigate to images, and then use this TM logo inside. So in order for this to work, we should add a few things, so we do not need any repeat. Here we don't need it to be scaled somehow in a bad way, so let's specify how we would like to use that. So let's do something like background size contain and background position center, just like this. And also we need to specify some kind of heights and widths for our div in order to see the background. So let's use full width, so 100%. And for the heights, something like, I don't know, 150 pixels should be enough. Yeah, so basically this is our logo. Now we can actually add some kind of padding, or even margin will be better. So let's use margin something like 10%, something like this. Yep. And now when we have our logo here, let's change the background. So let's do this trick. This color will go on this side of the screen, and this color will go on this side of the screen, filling the whole screen. So it's pretty easy to do. We just need to add a new class. Let's call it something like content background, and for that we will need to use something like gradient. So let's do it in the following way. Let's specify background to gradient. So it will be to right side, and then the two colors. So those colors will be the following. Actually, one and second one will be both blue with different lighting, and one code of first one is 92C2DD, and let it be 50% of the screen, and the second one code is 609 CC1, and this will be also 50% of our screen, just like that, and we won't have any repeat. So for both of them. Sorry, no repeat for both colors. Yep, so right now we need to assign this content background class to our Ion content. So let's go back to our main page, login page, and assign this class here. And now we have a different background, which seems to be nice. Let's also remove this bars table, we don't need it. And let's make our buttons here just black, we don't need any positive colors here. Just like this. And let's add a positive here for our small icon here. So now actually we have our login screen ready. So we have a sign in button. We just need to change also the font size. We have demo English, we have some kind of background, we have a logo, and it looks pretty much interesting. Let's change this size. So it should be overwritten. It's font size 10. I believe something like 20 will be too much, so let's make it 18. Yeah, 18 seems to be okay. So let's change this font size to 18 by just creating a new class. Something like button font. Yeah, so font size 18. And let's assign this class to our button. So right here. Actually, it's not working. Probably we need to specify that this is important because it gets our reason somewhere. Yeah, just like that. So on this step, actually, we finished with login screen. So let's go forward. Our main screen looks totally okay. So now details screen, we actually also need to change font size for those two buttons. So let them be the same size as before on login screen. So let's go to don't Let's go to details page first of all and change those two. By adding the new class, so button font. Yep, just like this. And here we also need the same. For some reason, actually, we are seeing this accept and decline from lowercase. Maybe it cannot find the items. Let's check. Yes, so let's check what is wrong with our translation. Yeah, it is from lowercase, so let's change it to big one, just like this. So now we also need to change icons and let them be also in positive colors. So positive, and the same for decline, just like that. And let's use different icons. So actually for accept, it is enough to use this check mark. And for decline, it is okay to use something like this Ionic close. So just like this. Yep, it's looking okay now. So if we are accepting the task, it should be removed from the list. By the way, it's now stopped working because we updated the page and it forgot about navigation. So let's check once again. Yeah. And if we are declining the task, we need to go to this screen, and basically this don't agree screen also needs to be changed. So first of all, the same font size. So we will use our button font here. Just like this. So back button should actually show us something like foregoing back. So let's use for that something like this. And we will use the same OK check mark for OK button as we used as for accept button. So yep, it's now working. Let's make those two buttons blue the same way. So let's use positive color. Yep, just like that. And actually our back button is also from lowercase, so let's change that. Sorry, this should be the same back, but we need to change the way how we are working with it. Inside our do not agree HTML. So instead of just having this back, we need to specify that this will be a translation, just like this. Yeah. So now actually we can also work with this kind of reasons. Yep, so let's use the same color here for our icons everywhere, and it will be positive. So just like this. This one is not working, so this task is not valid. Yep. Just like that. Excellent. So basically this step is also completed, and right now we will need to work with those colors. Actually that blue color is not suitable for us because, as you remember, on the login screen we already defined two blue colors that we'll be working with, and it will be good to stick with them. So for that we will override the default colors. For that we will use Sass. So let's open the terminal and stop our live reload and install Sass. Actually, first of all, we need to install Ruby, and then again we can install Sass. So let's start with that with sudo apt get install Ruby. Yep, so now we can install Sass. Let's do it with sudo for permissions. Is completed. Let's check if Sass is there with Sass -v. Yeah, it's showing us version. Good. So now we need to install gulp in order to use Sass configuration with Ionic. And for that we will use sudo npm-g install gulp. And now basically inside our project, inside Ionic project, I mean, we can set up Sass with Ionic setup Sass. Yep, we need to run it through sudo because we are missing permissions. Just like that. So let's now check if our app is still working. Let's launch live reload server. As you can see, there is some issue with permissions, and actually it's related to access. Let's check. So yeah, so those two files are under root. We should change that. And let's do let's do chown with sudo, of course, to to IBM for those two files inside www CSS. So everything that starts with Ionic. Yep, and now let's try to relaunch our app. Yeah, so let's refresh our app to see if it's working. It is not, and the reason for that most probably is because SAS setup through Ionic command line interface usually changing index.html by removing styles. So as you can see, we do not have any styles here anymore. And the reason for that is actually because it's a bit differently working now with Ionic CSS files. And basically, if you will refresh CSS folder, right now you will see two new files that we just changed permissions to, Ionic app CSS and Ionic app min CSS, and they will be used instead of those that are located under lib Ionic CSS. So those two, and we will need to include them. So let's do it. And the same for our own styles. Yep, so we are now seeing our app working. And actually now to replace the colors, we have two options. One of them is to go to Ionic project folder, so dev workspace stma.io, and then to scss folder and modify the file called Ionic app scss. So this can actually override with a specific color that we will choose the default parameters. So in our case, let's override positive and calm. But we can also use variables as CSS files, and as they said here in description, and basically that one is a bit easier because it's located right inside our project. So if we will go to SCSS and open variables, then we will have those colors here. Basically, let's change them. Positive should be 609, then CC1, and let's change calm to the second blue, like 92C2DD, just like this. So now we can reload this. It's pretty hard to define if the colors are changed or not, but we are seeing from a console that they are. So let's check the styles here. I was inspecting the element. So this icon, yeah, it's actually our new positive color that we just implemented. So excellent. I believe we also need to change those buttons. Let's make them a bit dark, because right now they're too light. So let's do it like this. Button clear, dark, and button dark. Yep, and the same here for a second one. Okay, so let's look on our app. Search, here colors are fully okay. Here the back button, I believe, should be also either in black color, or yeah, maybe we can even live with this one, but for sure we need to change this sign. So instead of tank and everything, we need to have just regular back button, and most probably that back button is not translated right now, so let's check. I was in the Russian language, what it will show. Yeah, it's anyway showing back button, so we need to change this. And we will do that by modifying our details page and do not agree page. We will specify the direct back button, and we will just go to Ionic documentation. So let's go to Ionic framework website and navigate to JavaScript, and then to navigation, back button, and let's specify just a back button that we would like to see here, like this. So instead those, we can use something like this, and instead back we can use our construction. So it will be back. Just like this. Let's check. Yep, but that back button that was by default was more nicer. So let's use that one from Ionic Ions. So this one, most probably. Yep. And let's do the same for our last page, do not agree. And let's check it once again. So starting from login, demo, back button looks okay, decline, back button looks okay, but it's not translating. Yeah, it is translating, so it's okay. It's fully okay. So actually our app is working. So we just checked Russian version. We can change English. We can check English one. So everything looks pretty okay. Yep, totally okay. And the search is also working. So right now the next step for us will be actually to take this app and prepare a real mobile application by also specifying the icon and splash screen and moving it to Android emulator. But we will do it in the next lab, and on this step our lab number 37 is finished. Thank you.